Hey, it's Christy here again with part 2 of my video series on animal necromancy. I just want to show you quickly. I don't know how well you can see it. This is the Keys of a Cot, the new grimoire by uh, S. Connolly on demonolatry necromancy. I intend to do like a more formal review of this book when I get my copy of Necromantic Sorcery, which is actually I bought and it's in the mail, to compare them side by side. But despite Nephilim, very well put together book. Um, it has these Enochian key tablets and planetary tablets and sigils. You know, everything you would expect a grimoire to have. So, once you've sort of initiated yourself into the current, you've found a place to be, you've done basic rituals like opening the door of death. What's the next step? Well, these are sort of steps for all sorts of necromancy. What you want is a more specific variety for animal necromancy. And like I said, I think the best place to begin that path is with your pets. If you have a deceased pet that's buried in the backyard, that's the ideal place to begin. Try doing an evocation on the grave. Put out your candles, put out the myrrh, put out the triangle, put all of that stuff on the grave and begin to work on that grave. Do the veil-rending ceremonies there. Do your initiations there. Consecrate that ground as your altar for animal necromancy. And what I think you'll find is, since, there are probably a lot of dead animals around, like rodents killing stuff, it will be easy to begin to attract spirits there. You're going to find that, like I said, this altar is going to be just as potent as any altar. The death dirt that you're going to get from this is as potent as graveyard dirt taken from anywhere, provided that you treat it as such. You have to show, I think, real respect to it. Now, I found personally a couple of rituals that I've done that have actually increased the power of my animal graveyard ritual, my pet cemetery ritual. The first is setting up a little altar there to receive sacrifice. I have sacrificed the blood of rats. I have sacrificed offerings of flowers and, being it's a dog, you can try sacrificing your dog's favorite treats, let's say. And once you begin to do that in a magical setting, you'll find that this area is going to be attracted with lots of energy. Now, you don't have to, I'm not saying you have to make ritual relics by digging up your pet. You can, but, if you find a dead deer at the side of the road, you can take that skull, let's say, and use that as a channel for spirits. The bones of animals, the flesh of animals that you've found, those work just as well. And you'll be able, once I think you advance down the path far enough, you will be able to make the jump. You'll find that through this ritual space, through these ritual practices, human soul, human remnants are going to find their way to you. For example, two ritual implements that I use in human necromancy do not contain any human body parts, but they contain animal body parts. One contains the skeleton of a frog, and the other one contains the blood of a toad. It's a ghost summoning potion. But I think that I've been able to make this gap because there's a point where once you begin to work through animal necromancy, you're still contacting the death essence. You're still learning to evoke through the dead. And so you're becoming a powerful necromancer, and that mana, if you will, that reputation among the dead as being a powerful necromancer, I think that that will transition you over. So that if you're kind of intimidated by working on the dead and the dying, working with humans, start with your pet, and that will give you the necessary power to make the transition. Now, let's talk about a few spirits that help with animal necromancy. Okat should be obvious. He's the demon gatekeeper. If you're into voodoo, Vodun, to be more proper, you can mark your ritual graveyard with signs of Legba and with the Gede Barons to help to consecrate that space. And I have found, personally, I think I mentioned this many videos back now, that Lucifer is powerfully connected with necromancy. And I think the reason for that is in the death as an alchemical illumination, right? Everybody dies. We all want to know what's on the other side of death. To die is to be enlightened. And I think that's why I have found a connection between Lucifer and the enlightenment of the grave. And I've done several evocations of Lucifer on the grave top, and those have been my most powerful. And as I've been working through this system, I have found that sacrifices can be made to work with the Luciferian system to power the necromantic system. So, as I told you in another interview, when Lucifer appeared to me over the grave, he said, if you'll spill the blood of a priest on this ground, it will be incredibly powerful for necromancy. And I talked him down to not physically spilling the blood, but spilling the blood through a curse. So I put a curse on this really nasty guy who happens to be a member of the Catholic priesthood. And that curse bound the power of Lucifer into my rites. And I also want to say that there are sort of ghost dogs and ghost cats that appear in lots of mythology, and even also in a lot of your urban folklore. So if you happen to have your aunt's house is haunted by Fufu, that's a good place, a good spirit to begin with working as well. In the third part of this video, I'm going to delve into some very interesting specifics of ritual that I've begun to work on as well. Thank you.